Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
In all things in beauty. Welcome to RadioAMB, designed for those who love to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Smucker, and I've been in the industry for over 40 years. RadioAMB, which stands for American-Made Beauty, is where we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our feature segment is sponsored today by AmericanMadeBeauty.com, which is a beauty platform designed to help consumers find beauty companies that are implementing the industry's best practices to bring you quality products and services. Go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com to find beauty products and services that meet a strict set of standards that reflect their American heritage. If you want to sample some of our brands, click on the consumer page and sign up for the American Made Beauty free beauty box with customized brands that you get to choose which ones you want to sample. Today, during our feature segment, we'll meet Tonya Crooks and the Brow Gal and hear about her background and journey to create her brand called the Brow Gal. We'll also learn a little bit about why brows have become so important. During the segment we call In the Jar, we'll focus on what makes the Brow Gal so unique, a little bit about her secret sauce. During our segment we call Beauty That's Soul Deep, we'll look at some of the ways that Tonya is giving back to her community. And finally today we'll wrap up our show with Tonya's vision for the future, tips for the industry, and some of the things that she's looking for to help grow her business. So let's get started. Let me tell you a little bit about my guest. Tonya Crooks is a true artist with an unwavering passion for beauty that has grown into a mission to make every eyebrow flawless. She believes brow is no longer a supporting actor on the face, but is now the star. Known by her celebrity and industry following as the Brow Gal, Tonya's keen eye developed at a young age. She studied fine arts at the Royal Academy of Art in London, where she learned the skills and habits of a classically trained fine artist with a particular propensity towards color. This led to a mastery of personal beauty, prompting her to expand her services beyond sketching and painting into the fashion world as a makeup expert and with photo shoots. After returning to the United States, Tonya began working as the regional beauty director at Nordstrom, growing her corporate beauty experience, which led Tonya's to work backstage at Paris fashion shows with some of the industry's top trainers, artists, and models. It was here that Tonya realized that many of the runway's best needed help grooming and maintaining their eyebrows. Tonya's dedication to details have made her a favorite among many Hollywood's finest celebrities, including Megan Fox, Fergie, Julia Roberts, Gwyneth Paltrow, Molly Sims, and just to name a few. She's featured in publications, television shows, and media outlets around the world, and she's internationally recognized as a leading brow expert in the industry. Welcome, Tonya. I'm really thrilled to finally have you on the show.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that wonderful introduction, Patty.
Well, you know, it's always impressive to look at how someone takes a particular experience and sort of begins to connect the dots. What was it that led you to start your education in fine arts?
You know, I have to say that I think I came out of my mother's womb as an artist. In fact, I know I have, because I was fascinated at a very young age with painting and coloring books and creating my own colors and having a really big, vivid imagination. So I think that was just something that came with me into the world, but I had no intention at all of, ending up where I am today, although very, very thankful. I just sort of let life lead me, and it has led me into, a really incredible place right now. As you mentioned, I started off I'm a classically trained artist, and that's absolutely true. This was the road that I thought I was going to lead my life down, and in the midst of my path and sort of twists and turns in my life and situations, I ended up just sort of pausing and regrouping after a death in my immediate family. And, when I was in London studying art, having this fantastic opportunity, I wasn't quite aware of how expensive art supplies could be abroad. So I needed to be really resourceful and figure out how I can make some extra money to continue my studies. And unfortunately, I was a foreigner and I didn't have a work visa. So somebody volunteered me to do a makeup job, a freelance makeup job that paid cash. One of my fellow students, and that's how I fell into makeup, believe it or not.
And so the mother of invention, you had a need, and that need was to call upon some way in which you could make money, and makeup, doing a makeup job was the next place to start.
Yeah, and when the idea was first brought to my attention, being, a very minimal makeup wearer at the time, I thought, are you crazy? Mm-hmm. And my friend said to me, she said, Tonya, you can shadow and shade. You know color better than anybody I know. It's just a 3D canvas. And when she sort of broke it down in simple terms, it wasn't daunting anymore because I was very comfortable with my artistic ability. It was just the canvas at first that sort of, I was a little bit shocked with. But, I'm always up for a challenge. And it turned out to be not only fun, but very rewarding. And this is sort of what led me into eyebrows. When you're studying art in school, and what they're really doing, what your professors really want you to learn is developing your eye. Mm-hmm. They always say artists see the world differently, and this is very true because the attention to detail that you have to train your eye to do is really incredible. And I always make jokes that today it's a blessing and a curse at the same time because I'm always noticing details of everything. But this is what created me to notice the eyebrows on the face. I learned all the principles in school of balance and symmetry, and because I didn't have any formal makeup training, I just adapted what I had learned from drawing and painting and put it on the face.
And it's so interesting because it is really that very classic detail that allows you to understand how important the brow is. Why is it that before this point, brows haven't been such a focal point?
I think that when you think about makeup and you think about beauty, you think about the eyes and they're the window to the soul, and you think about, great bone structure, and you think about voluptuous lips, and, these are sort of have always been the focal points that people would really, want to define and make up. And I think what ended up happening was people started becoming, trends change, mm-hmm. and people started becoming more aware of the eyebrows because when the thicker, fuller brow came into play, they were more noticeable on the face. And when they were more noticeable on the face, if you imagine the eyes to be like a beautiful painting, mm-hmm. the eyebrows are a beautiful frame that goes around the painting. And when you hang it on the wall, it looks much better. So I think the brows are also a way of not only bringing out the eyes, but it's the only feature on the face that has the power to balance and rebalance the overall face. So I always say the biggest compliment I can hear is, oh, wow, she's a beautiful woman. Oh, and she's got really good brows. I don't want it to be, oh, she's got great eyebrows and look how pretty she is, because I think when brows are done correctly, all it does is lend themselves to a more beautiful overall picture.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the eyebrow is the balance. I love that you said that it's the only feature of the face that has the power to balance the entire face.
Yes, and I always say to look at the brows like scales. Each one of them and then both of them together. You don't want too much, like if we were talking about one eyebrow, we don't want too much weight to fall to the front. Or we don't want it too long, too much weight on the back to pull the eye down. So you want to, like, distribute that balance as evenly as you can. And then when you look at both brows on the face, you want to use that same principle.
Now, is it true that brows are not exactly alike on the face? I mean,
absolutely. I always say they're sisters, not twins, but I like to dress them alike.
Okay.
You know, Patty, I've been doing brows for 16 years professionally, and I have never, on any celebrity or normal client or otherwise, have ever seen two brows identical on someone's face, because our faces are not symmetrical. Our faces are very asymmetrical, so are our brows. So it's not a matter of using a stencil and trying to get exactly the same brow on both sides of your face, because that would look just as odd. But what it is about is finding that balance and creating that balance naturally with your own natural muscle movement, and that is what creates the overall illusion of balance.
Right.
And still looking natural, which is very important.
Yeah, very important. So what do you think are some of the classic mistakes that people make when it comes to, I mean, we've seen this trend occur in terms of going from, you know, a very sparse brow to a much fuller brow. What are you seeing as the most classic mistakes people make?
Well, I think there's a few. Now that everybody's trying to resurrect their brows and really encourage them to, you know, be thicker and fuller, what I always say is you do not have to suffer in the process. A lot of times clients, I'll hear them say, you know, I waited 6 months or I waited 3 months to come in before I saw you, so, you know, I wanted my brows to really be grown out. Well, when you think about it, you know, growing brows are a journey. It's kind of like if you had a short haircut and you're growing it out long. It doesn't have to look, you know, disheveled and ugly along the way.
Right.
You can have it shaped and, you know, groomed as it's growing and still feel good about yourself. You know, a lot of times when women are growing out their brows, they feel messy or dirty or unkempt, and, you know, that's why I say you don't have to suffer. You just have to be conservative with your hair removal.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
So the first thing is that people don't have to suffer in growing them out. But are there other things that you're seeing as far as classic mistakes people are making and trying to create this more full visual brow?
Yes. First of all, I think one of the things that, you know, that women have suffered with is over-tweezing the brows in the center. So now that we're realizing, oh, wow, those brows are very important hairs to have, there's a lot of harsh overdrawing or overlining or overcompensating for those hairs that are lost. And I think that, you know, the eye naturally gravitates to the darkest thing on the face. So sometimes we have a tendency to be a little heavy-handed with, you know, trying to correct our brows. And I always want everybody to understand that less is more. And this is why I started to create, I started with pencils, very sharp pencils, because I wanted to create the detailed look of hair-like strokes and not just a solid filled-in brow, because I like it to look natural.
Right. And so that was the journey. Was that the first product that you sort of began developing as you developed the Brow Gal?
Yes, it was, and it made perfect sense to me. Let me just back up for a second. When I started, you know, taking my makeup career seriously, I noticed that when I was getting my my prints back from the photographer, what was happening is, with the eyebrows, you really noticed when they weren't symmetrical. And what even more so, what bothered me was with flash photography, especially, you noticed the tone didn't match as well. So what I kept seeing over and over were tones of eyebrows that were far too warm, meaning too orange. Okay. So that was something that really bothered me because, again, I like things to look natural, and I believe that the brows, when you fill them in, you shouldn't see a line of demarcation between where the hair ends and the fill-in begins.
Got it.
And so it was sort of a two-pronged approach for me. It was application and getting a pencil point that was able to get a detailed enough stroke without depositing too much, but at the same time not being too waxy or too hard that wouldn't have enough payoff.
Right.
And it was very important for me, coming from art school where having my pencil sharpener next to me was, my lifeline to details. I wanted to include a pencil sharpener on the end in the cap of my brow pencil, so you would always have that ability to have that natural hair-like effect.
And what I love, and fortunately I've had an opportunity to use it, and it really is, quite beautiful in terms of having that sharpener that's right there as the cap to the pencil. But also on the other side, you have a brush.
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
It's a 3-in-1 tool because, like all makeup, it's very important to blend. If it's putting on foundation, if it's putting on concealer, if it's putting on blush, if it's putting on eyeshadow, you always want to blend and blend well. And you want to have the correct tools to do so. So I put my favorite tool on the end of the pencil, and I just keep flipping the pencil back and forth and then sharpening it in between. So for me, I'm such a multitasker, it was a no-brainer for me. Mm-hmm. I could put it in my bag, I travel a lot, and I can go, and I have everything I need right there.
Right. And so, it's a very simple, but it just makes such a difference in terms of creating that look, and yet you keep emphasizing natural, that natural is really important. Yes. So you began seeing it in photography, that there was that difference. How did you make the leap to actually start creating your own brand, The Brow Gal?
I did brows professionally for 10 years, and, makeup as well. I started as a makeup artist, as you know. But what happened is I would mix colors in my studio for my clients. So I would hand mix them because, remember, I just spoke about tone and texture. Mm-hmm. So I took it upon myself to do my best work in my studio using a palette that I would mix colors with. And so what ended up happening was my clients kept saying, can I buy what you filled my brows in with? And I said, well, I don't have that, but I would recommend them to other well-known brands, that I felt were best for them, be it whatever brand it was, whatever color I felt would be best or product for them to easily get the results that I gave them, I would refer them to that with the color. And what I kept hearing time and time again was, I purchased XYZ, but, it's not giving me the results that I like, and it doesn't look like when you do it. So then, to take it one step further, I was hearing, oh, Tonya, I couldn't get an appointment with you, and let's say it's a Wednesday, mm-hmm. and I have a party on Saturday, so between now and then I'm just going to wash around my eyebrows. And for me, this was crazy.
Right.
Because I am such a crazy person about, washing my face, scrubbing my face, getting all the makeup off. So I thought, are you kidding me? And I didn't just hear this once or twice. I was hearing this over and over and over. And then finally, Megan Fox in 2010, I've been doing her brows for, since 2003. She said to me, Tonya, listen, can you please make me something that I can use in my brows that looks like when you do them? Because I have tried everything out there, and nothing looks good. Now, the thing is with Megan is that she has ash-toned hair. Mm-hmm. So, and I have dark hair as well, and what has been sort of a tricky thing to do is to create a brow pencil that doesn't have that warm orangey tone in it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, really shows up in photography, and we all know Megan's, she's photographed quite often. Mm-hmm. So I looked at her and I said, you know what, Megan, I understand what you need, and I know the color that you need. If you can give me a little bit of time, I am going to figure this out for you. Mm-hmm. And that was after hearing my clients and after hearing her requests and other celebrities' requests, I finally said to myself, you know what? Clearly, if all of these people are asking me for something, there's a need in the market for it.
Right.
That's why I created the Brow the Brow Gal.
Okay, so just to really be able to identify, be able to fill a niche. I mean, more so than anything, it wasn't just a pencil. This tone issue and the color issue. How many different color pencils do you have within the brand?
So the brand is growing rapidly, I'm happy to say. But let me just go back to the need. You know, I was also hearing from clients, my eyebrows don't stay on. I need my eyebrows to stay on. This is years before I created a product. You know, I want to go on a workout date. I want to go on a hiking date, but my brows will fall off. I want to go to a hot tub, but my brows will. So again, that's why we created our water-resistant eyebrow gel. So I really listened, and I listened really well for 10 years of what the needs were. And then I started with the pencils. We have 6 shades. Now we're adding a number 7 for redheads. It took me a long time to get that color right because, you know, I didn't want it too orange, and I wanted it somewhat universal and subtle for all redheads. But since then, we've created a brand new product that's coming out right now, which is called the Convertible Brow, which has the capacity to be ultra natural when dry, and if you add water, it turns into an ultra pomade, or what I call the Instagram brow. And there's 3 colors in each compact, so you have a warm, neutral, and ash tone. So you're always going to be able to custom blend that color, so you're not going to have that orangey tone. You know, and again, that was something that was, you know, I was being asked for within the world of Instagram nowadays.
Okay,
so
go
you know, it really, everything in the line, including our growth serum and our tools, everything was created out of people asking for it.
So really seeing what a need is and filling those needs continuously around that of the brow. So when we come back, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I want to dig in a little bit deeper to understand this convertible brow, because that seems really fascinating, really interesting. So don't go away.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back, and we'll talk a little bit more with, we're here with Tonya Crooks, the Brow Gal.
Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. You're listening to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm Patty Smucker, and we're here with Tonya Crooks, the Brow Gal. In this segment we call In the Jar, we're going to talk a little bit more about what makes the Brow Gal unique. And we've already heard a little bit about it, that Tonya, you developed this brand specifically as you were hearing your clients ask for things. You were looking at being able to provide solutions to problems. Tell us a little bit about something you mentioned in the last segment, the convertible brow. Will you explain that to us?
Absolutely. I'm really excited about this product. And to be quite transparent, it was over 2 years in the making, and I'll tell you why. I was hearing from different, everybody likes something different. Some people don't feel comfortable with pencils, or they've been using powders their entire life. So what I wanted to do was to be able to cater to those customers as well. And as the brand is growing, the requests grow as well. So I was asked to, consider doing a powder. And so I started doing powders and thinking, but this is a little bit old school for the millennials that are really getting into makeup right now. They're wanting a pomade. So then I started testing pomades, and I wasn't happy with the way that they would perform because I felt like they would always start drying out within a month of using them, opening the jar. So then I thought, I don't want to do that to my clients, and this is not going to give you a natural brow. So I came up with the idea because like I mentioned, I'm a multitasker, and I like things to do more than one thing. So I thought in a perfect world, I would have a product that could be used either very, very naturally or very, very strongly, or anything in between. So I created what is called the convertible, and it's called the convertible because it is a wet, dry, convertible powder pomade. So we have 3 compacts, and we make it very easy. So there's light hair, medium hair, and dark hair. Usually people know what they are. Inside of each compact, there's 3 colors. There's a warm tone, there's a neutral tone, and there's an ash tone. Ash tone meaning void of any warm, orangey, golden colors. Okay? So there's a brush that I've designed that works exclusively with this powder that when used dry, it looks incredibly natural. So you can, have no makeup on your face, but you have to put your brows on because there's a lot of people out there like that, and go to the grocery and not feel like you have a full face of makeup on or not feel like you have your brows done.
Right.
Then there's what I call, if you dampen it just a little, then you can go in and make hair-like strokes with the brush in some low spots or maybe some unevenness you have in the brow, and then brush it through. On the other end of the brush, there's a spoolie brush, which is like on the other end of the pencil.
Okay.
So there's an angle brush on one end and a spoolie brush on the other. And all of the different formulas are blendable. So then you go in and blend. And this is what I call the 3D brow or the medium strength brow.
Okay.
You're going in, addressing the areas of concern. So this is going to be a little bit one step past the natural brow. This is going to be mirroring sort of that microblading looking brow.
Okay.
Then if you add a little more water to it and mix, and deepen the color, then you have a full pomade, full dramatic brow. So one product does everything, depending on, let's say you want to be natural in the morning and you want to, amp up your makeup and be more dramatic at night. It can do everything. So this is something that's unique to us. We're the only one that has a product like this, and I couldn't be more proud of the way it turned out.
That's great. And so are there other things that along the way have been that you've specifically developed that's sort of unique to your brand?
Oh, absolutely. We created a product called Second Chance, and this is our eyebrow enhancement serum. And really what we did was I worked with a lab for 2.5 years because I wanted to have a green technology. So we created a technology called Rustoplex, which stands for Restorative Complex. I'm one of those really healthy green people, and I always love to choose healthy options first. And so what I wanted to do was create a product that had 0 side effects, but was really able to enhance the brows and the lashes and bring back what we used to have. That's why it's called Second Chance. Second chance at good eyebrows, second chance at good lashes. And that's a proprietary formula that's exclusive to us, and I'm very proud of that too. I really have a lot of integrity in all the products I make. My name is on the box, and my reputation is at stake here. And as I mentioned, I never started to do this brand because I wanted to create a brand. I truly, truly was happy doing brows, and I just created it out of the need.
Yeah, and it sounds like the needs that were your customers will really, of course, your studio is in Southern California, so you're dealing with a lot of people that are in the limelight. If not celebrities, they're people that their image is very important to them. So it sounds like it was specific needs that your clients had, and really looking at being able to find solutions for real problems they were having.
Yeah, and, we do it not just with the products, but with education. It's really important. We're the only brow brand that really helps people understand the natural blueprint of their face. Mm-hmm. So we give it all away. We're the only company that says, oh, okay, let's help you find your right shape. This is how you do it. This is how you sharpen your tweezers before you have to buy another pair. We really have a lot of integrity, and we want to help. We have an interactive website at thebrowgal.com that helps people if they're struggling, they don't know what their shape is. They can, email us a picture, and then we will explain to them what their shape is and how to do their brows and make suggestions of what colors and what products we think would be best for them. So we really care about our customers a lot.
And when you talked about this second chance, it's a serum that you top.
It's a serum with a vibrating brush, and again, it's the only one that has a vibrating brush. It is equipped with 2 delivery systems. So, as we know, delivery systems are very important in the skincare world. So we're not relying on gravity to really have the product fall down into the follicle, but we have a gentle massaging wand that you rub into the brow, sort of back and forth circulating strokes. And what that does is it helps with a physical delivery system and having blood flow come to the follicle, and then we have a chemical delivery system built in to have it be absorbed into the skin quickly. And what you're going to have with this is quicker, better results.
Okay. And when, there's a lot of products that are out there in the market that make all of these claims, what's the process you go through in terms of validating that these different products that you're creating are actually getting the results that you're hoping it will?
Well, testing, and more testing. This product took 3 years to get to the shelf. Mm-hmm. And first of all, it was really important for me that there was no side effects. Mm-hmm. And more than anything else, it was important for me to have it be effective. There's a lot of products out there on the market that are effective, but I wanted ours to perform better, even better than those, and have a natural ingredients list. Mm-hmm. So this is what we set out to do, and it just took a long time, a lot of testing, a lot of money, and we're really happy. We're very happy with the results.
And I think that's really a great point, because there are a lot of various different things. I watch some of these YouTube videos, and I see some of the things that people are attempting to do, and it blows my mind how not concerned about side effects that people are when they take some of the chances that they're taking, only right. Looking at just, what's the end result that I'm wanting, but not really looking at all about side effects. I think that's a very important aspect of the integrity of your brand.
Absolutely. I feel like we're living in a world that, needs to, really wake up to being more healthy and more green. I have conversations with clients every day, and whatever the causes are, everybody's struggling to get pregnant, and everybody's, battling these different sort of autoimmune diseases, and not to say it's from, this or that, I don't know. But I just think that if we all try to take a healthier approach and be a little more conscious, then it's going to have a positive effect.
Right, absolutely. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the way the Brow Gal is giving back with some philanthropy work. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now, this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome. You're listening to Radio AMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm Patty Smucker, someone who's been in the beauty industry for the last 40 years, and we're here talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is the face, and specifically eyebrows, with the brow gal, Tonya Crooks. In this segment, though, I'd like to talk a little bit more about beauty that's soul deep and going back into some of the things that really feeds beauty, which is the way we feel about ourselves, and there's so much focus on just the external part of beauty. Tonya, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're doing right now that goes much deeper in terms of beauty in the way that people feel internally, and as a result, it affects their confidence.
Well, you know, let me just preface this by saying the reason I do what I do is because I love making people feel better about themselves. Mm-hmm. That's really the win for me.
Right.
I love making anybody feel better about themselves. And so I really like to be involved and spread my gift and my knowledge. And so, you know, two of the groups that I really support a lot, one is Stand Up to Cancer, because as you know, chemotherapy can take quite a hit on the soul, on the way a person feels, the way they lose their hair, you know, and then they're trying to recover. They're trying to, you know, get themselves back to zero after the fact. So, you know, I like to teach makeup to them, tips and tricks, and donate products, and really empower them, because we all know that when you think you look better, you feel better. Mm-hmm. You know, even though it isn't external, internally, when you teach somebody and you help them understand and identify how beautiful they are, it impermeates their soul.
Right.
You know, and then they're able to recreate this. And it just, I feel, from what I've seen and witnessed, it just helps them get their confidence back.
Right, absolutely. And so tell us a little bit about the organization Stand Up for Cancer. What are they about? Obviously the name, but tell us some of the work they do.
What I usually do, what they do is they are really huge supporters of, you know, of trying to be an advocate to have a cure for cancer. Mm-hmm. And so along the way, it's an organization. Sometimes you have mothers that will shave their heads when their child has to shave their head. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it's just a community that comes together that wants to empower and let people feel like they're not alone. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, this is what I really believe in.
Right.
Strongly, very strongly. Every year when they do their event, I'm there volunteering my time and products.
Right. And it's as a breast cancer survivor myself and someone who's gone through this, it is such an important time, and there's not only the visual part in terms of losing hair, but the skin goes through all sorts of different types of problems. Are there products that can't be used during that period of time that people are going through chemotherapy?
Actually, no. That's another reason why we wanted the Second Chance Serum to be green. We'd had several people in chemo using our product. And one in particular, she was in a chemo group, and she was out of Chicago, and she told me that she was the only one that managed to hold on to her eyebrows. They did thin, but she was the only one that managed to hold on to them. And so we've seen it over and over and over again, donating this product. It does work, and I get emails, and I'm hearing all the time, thank you so much. This really is a great thing. And when you're coming out of chemotherapy, your immune system is compromised, so you want to have something that's going to support you rather than deplete you.
Right, and the cleaner the product is, the better it is for the immune system.
Yes.
Now, I know that you also work with Dress for Success. Tell us a little bit about that program.
Dress for Success is, it's something that's sort of near and dear to my heart. I believe that sometimes we fall on our bad luck. Some people do, for whatever the circumstances are. And I always think it's great to, lend a helping hand. I'm a huge philanthropist at heart. If I could save the world, I would, trust me. And I know as the Eyebrow grows as a company, I have big plans to do a lot of philanthropic work where I'm donating, large sums of money to causes that, across the boards. But Dress for Success gives women the ability to start again. So it's teaching them, it's empowering them, it's helping them learn how to put their best face, best person forward out in the job force. So maybe you were homeless, maybe you were in a shelter. You're taught how to, interview. You're taught how to dress, for your body type. You're taught how to wear your makeup. You're taught how to, engage in social situations. It's just all encompassing, and it's just really empowering for women. And some women have had, maybe victims of abuse or low self-confidence or suffering from no self-esteem. And, women coming together to really help each other, it really feeds my soul.
And that's an interesting, and one aspect of this beauty that's soul deep is always about our industry has an amazing track record of being giving and doing philanthropic work. But I hear this over and over again in terms of how it also feeds your soul. And can you share some of the important lessons that you've learned as a result of doing this type of work in the community?
Absolutely. I feel like I should be paying them for what I've been given because, sometimes it's really easy to get caught up in your day-to-day minutia of, this or that, or this packaging didn't turn out right, or this or that. But you know what? In the grand scheme of life, I see these champions, these heroes of survivors, and I can't tell you. Hearing their stories, watching them rise up, makes all of my real-world problems seem so trivial in comparison. So it really takes me down to the humanity of all of it. And I'm so thankful, and I'm so blessed for these experiences. It really has fed my soul more than you can imagine.
Right. And it sounds, though, that like many business owners, you're really busy. How do you find the time? How do you find the time to do those kinds of things?
You know, it's okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not always sticking to a great exercise regimen, but so sometimes that has to take the back seat for other things. And I think, you know what, when it's important enough, and I'm very busy, as I'm sure you are as well, I'm very busy, but when it's important enough to me, and I always believe that I've been blessed, and it's very important to have that attitude of gratitude and give back, because truly that's what makes me feel good.
Right, right. Yeah, and taking care of yourself can be done in a lot of different ways. And
yeah, it's a win-win. I'm all for win-win. I want everybody to win.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. All right, great. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back for our final segment we call Beauty Biz, we'll take a look at what Tonya has in mind for the future of her brand and some of the things that she'd love to see happen and growing the Brow Gal. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
You're listening to RadioAMB, where we share the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our program sponsor today is Free Your Mane. Free Your Mane is a hair care line based on baobab oil. You can go and find the product at Anthropology stores, and you can also go to Free Your Mane, that's spelled M-A-N-E, freeyourmane.com. In this segment we call Beauty Biz, we're going to continue our conversation with the Brow Gal, Tonya Crooks, and talk a little bit about what lies ahead. So, Tonya, you've done some amazing things with regards to innovation within the product that you already have in the market. What's ahead? What's in store for new innovation for the brand?
Well, you know, I have to keep some of those cards close to my chest, Patty. But what I can say is that we're taking it even a step further with at-home care, with really empowering clients to be able to recreate what I do. I can't be everywhere. My team can't be everywhere. But not with just the education, but with products that make it easy to also maintain at home. And without giving everything away.
Without giving away too many secrets. Although we always love on A&B when we can say, well, you heard it first here.
Exactly.
When we're talking about, though, this whole emphasis on the brow, do you see that it's going to continue to be full? Do you see some changes happening in the future where we're going in a different direction?
No, actually, yes. I mean, yes and yes. You know, brows are an accessory in their own right. And like accessories and like fashion trends, over time they eventually change. But I'm a firm believer that this thick, full brow is going to be in probably for the next 5 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. Then, you know, who knows? We may revisit the 90s. I'm not quite sure. Mm-hmm. But I know that what's very important is that thicker, fuller brows bring back youth to the face. And usually, and they have the ability to create more balance. So usually, women are always going to want to look better. So be it super, super thick or maybe a little bit not as thick, it's still going to be, the brows are still going to make a statement on the face. It's not something that's going to go away.
Well, that's very interesting that you're saying that thicker, fuller brow brings back youth to the face. Is it because of the balance? Is it because of where it's changing the direction of the focus with being uplifting? What is it visually that creates that appearance of youthfulness?
Because if you look at a picture of yourself when you were young, I'm sure you would see, oh, wow, I had pretty good eyebrows, or I had thicker brows, or I had darker brows. What happens after we hit the age 30 is that our follicles start to slow down and they start to change. And as time goes by, we start to thin in the tails, we start to thin in the front, the density of the brow becomes less. So when you turn the clock back and you have a thicker brow, then it takes you back to more of the way you looked when you were younger. Does that make sense?
Sure, absolutely.
Over time, there's really hasn't been, I mean, let me ask you, Patty, who taught you how to tweeze your brows?
Well, I'm a cosmetologist. I went to beauty school.
Okay. Okay. So you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
But most often, people learn from their best friend or their mom or, you know what I'm saying? They just try to teach themselves. So we've had a few debacles along the way that we're trying to recover from. So now I think the education about the brow and the way it's supposed to look and what shape looks best for you is more available.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And so what other things are you hoping is going to unfold here in the future for the brand?
Well, we are. I'm very excited. We are opening a new studio, a flagship on Melrose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in West Hollywood. So I'm so excited about that. That's going to be really put us on the map. I'm very excited. You know, I've been spending so much time focusing the last 3.5 years on building the brand and launching it globally that I haven't really, taken the time to really expand on what I have in my own backyard here. But yeah, it's been quite a year. I've traveled all over the world launching our brand and educating and teaching, and that is still, there's more of that on the horizon. I actually leave for China next week to open Sephora. So it's all actually very, very exciting. The growth has been quick and tremendous, and I just want to put out there with any company that's growing, and I'm very thankful and very blessed that people have really taken a liking to our product, but we're always looking to expand our team. Mm-hmm. So, through via influencers, via, sales, distribution, everything. So if any of your listeners out there have a passion for eyebrows and they like to think outside of the box, please have them contact us at info@thebrowgal.com.
That's great. That's great. And, Tonya, when do you expect the new studio on Melrose to open?
Well, we're actually under construction now, so you know how construction time frames can change. Mm-hmm. I learned that when I remodeled my house, but we're shooting for December 1.
December 1, okay.
Yes.
And how will it be different from the studio that you currently have?
Much bigger and more services offered.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the service menu.
Okay, so we will be having several brow artists doing, what the method that I've created, I teach internally to all of our Brow Gal staff across the globe. So my whole idea was we want to be the Starbucks of eyebrows. You go anywhere in the world and you order a vanilla latte, you know what you're going to get. It's the same thing with what we're doing with brows. So you don't have I don't want that person, I want that person. You know what I mean? Everybody's taught the same way to have phenomenal results. So we're going to have more brow artists. We're going to have a lash extension artist. We're going to have a nail art person. And let me just say that everybody that works with us does exceptional work. So it's not your average, brow shaping or nail art or eyelash extensions. We like the best of the best. So anybody that comes in our salon is going to be able to experiencing more than just great eyebrows. They can have great makeup, they can have great lashes, they can have, great nails. And this again came at the request of clients saying, I wish I could get, my nails done. I wish it was a one-stop shop. I wish, this, that, and the other. And a lot of times people come into our studio right now. My studio I have is very small, but they love to stay and talk. They don't want to leave, and so we want to be able to have this place where you can kind of everybody come together and talk beauty, talk brows, have a coffee.
Right. Well, and as you grow the brand, and as, say, somebody is involved with utilizing something else, or maybe a store that's carrying another brand, is it either or? Should someone be, only working with your particular products, or is there room in the marketplace for more than one brow line?
Oh, there's, like with cosmetics, there's a million beautiful cosmetic lines. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same with eyebrows. And I think that if we can step outside of our habit of what we know, of what we've been using, be it an eyeshadow from an old palette or, an eyebrow pencil that you pick up at the, beauty supply store, if you really just step outside of that and say, you know what? I'm willing to try something new, because I promise you, my products were made with so much attention to detail and so much passion that people literally fall in love with them, even if they've been using, the same well-known brand for their entire life. If they step outside and say, oh, I'm going to give this a try, it's been incredible.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah, or you can use it in conjunction with whatever else you're using. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of brows out there that need fixing. There's enough brows for everyone.
Well, and it also sounds like, again, you have been in a unique position of dealing with people who are fairly high profile, if not celebrities, but living in the Southern California area where appearance is critical. We don't have a choice. And so there's been real problems that those clients have experienced, and you've been there to sort of create solutions rather than just things that are frivolous, real solutions like your convertible brow palette. It sounds like those are the things that make it something that has a lot more substance to it.
Yeah, and everything's reasonably priced,
Mm-hmm.
Why should somebody have to buy a powder and then a pomade to have different looks? It's all there for you with a very reasonable price tag on top of it.
Great. Well, Tonya, thank you so much. If somebody wanted to get in contact with you, what's the best way to reach you?
Oh, you can reach me at Tonya, Tonya, at thebrowgal.com.
Great. Well, thank you again for being with us, and for a delight to hear your story and some of the great work that you're doing in the world.
Thank you so much, Patty. It's been such a pleasure, and thank you for having me on your show.
Great. Well, that will do it for us for today. We hope that you never want to miss our shows, but next week for sure we have the Grand Dame of Beauty. Vivian McKender will be us. Learn how after 6 decades she's still making waves in beauty. Send us your questions and comments to requests@AmericanMadeBeauty.com. I'm Patty Smucker. You can hear Radio AMB on HealthyLife.net, or you can go to iTunes and subscribe and download all of our shows in the past as well. Thank you for listening to Radio AMB, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.